Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit, and I'm here to talk about Aftersun, which is a movie directed by Charlotte Wells. I believe it is her first movie, and I believe that she did write it as well. This movie's amazing! And I think it's the best movie, at least English language movie, that I've seen this year. If not the best movie, English language movie, or movie at all, made this year in general. It is starring Frankie Corio, who plays Sophie, and Paul Mescal, who plays Callum, her father. And Callum has taken Sophie on a trip just before school starts to Turkey, a resort in Turkey, a cheap resort in Turkey, which becomes important. Although when I was watching it, I didn't realize it was cheap because it looked really amazing and like a ton of fun. And I mean, you can have fun in cheap places too, but maybe that just speaks to how poor I grew up, because there were signs that it was cheap and I just totally ignored them. It is a movie about Sophie reflecting back on this trip by watching camera tapes from the trip to try and make sense of what her father was going through at that time. Because when you're watching the movie, at least the first third, everything's happy-go-lucky, and then the yarn starts to unravel. Excuse me. And you start to see that it seems like he is hiding something from her. It's not really clear what. Certainly the things going on in my head were much darker than what the reality is, but there seems to be something he's going through. And Sophie, at her age, at 11, is able to see right through him. He's not really able to hide it at all from her, but she's not able to read him clearly. She knows something is wrong, but she can't quite pinpoint it all the time. Sometimes she hits the nail on the head, but other times not so much. And it's showing her at her father's age, watching these films from her childhood and from this trip in particular. So she's more mature and she's the same age, and she's going through a lot of the same things that he is. Although he's got a partner, although she's got a partner, she also has a child at this age. And so as she's watching it, she's starting to really understand. And there are some scenes in the movie that were not recorded by film, definitely, because Sophie is not there. But it seems to be that she's kind of filling in the gaps for what Callum would have been going through, or what would have been on his mind in those moments where he was by himself. Great direction in this film, and writing. I mean, everything about it's a masterpiece, in my opinion. One thing about it that is really good is that, like, the movie has this amazing direction where there are so many times where Sophie and Callum are talking, but there's some kind of barrier between them, just like there would be a barrier between a child not understanding the sort of emotional difficulties that a parent, especially one that is hiding their feelings, would be going through. She can't quite figure out why he's depressed, which is because he feels like he's not enough, and he feels like his life hasn't been going the way that he wanted, which you get hints of, even though he's very guarded when he speaks with his daughter. There's a lot of love, definitely. He's very happy with her and loves her, and is very sweet. But he's definitely guarded when he's talking about things that are on his mind or that upset him when his daughter asks about these kind of things. And yeah, there's maybe a wall or a door between them, a glass door, or he's half of him is covered up, or it's just a reflection of him in the shot. And it's like, these things really add up by the end. And it really starts to make a real clear picture. The whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, this movie is really good. But I don't know, it's just like, it's good, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's not quite a narrative. There's no arc. Nobody learns anything necessarily. Things are just kind of happening, and it's just kind of a haphazard trip, which I guess makes sense because it's sort of a found footage film, although only parts of it look like old videotape recordings. But then there's the last few minutes, which all I'm gonna say is tears start welling up when this is the last dance, right? I will never hear Under Pressure the same again. It has been transformed. It's a transformative, beautiful, heartbreaking, melancholic scene, and it is masterfully done. And then the last 5 minutes really bring everything to the forefront, brings it all together beautifully. You know, whether it's those conversations where he's hiding something, or the interview that his daughter gives him where he really doesn't want to talk about the past, or, you know, when she says, I know the goggles cost a lot, and he sort of looks at her and tries to play it off, even though he's quite worried about not being enough, not being able to provide enough for her, and frustrated that things aren't working out for him, or whether it's that painful scene where she wants to do karaoke with him and sing Losing My Religion by REM, and then he just can't make himself do it. I mean, he's been really playful and happy to do whatever and tries to motivate her to do things until this moment. He just doesn't want to do it, and he tells her he doesn't want to. And it's so hard to watch when she, you know, is still playful and then shrinks into herself, and then they have a little fight. And then, you know, the scenes after that too. I mean, all of that really is great when you're watching it, but by the end, you know, after the last dance and when the credits hit, it just comes at you like a truck. Definitely cried when the credits hit, because this movie is beautiful, and I look forward to more of these tender films.